guys, this is Byron the Multiple Interest Man, and welcome back to Byron's Bios. I'm about to review another movie focusing on an American coming-to-age drama film released in 1983 based on a novel by S.E. Hinton that was published in 1967 and directed by Francis Ford Coppola, who also directed Captain EO, and that is The Outsiders. Taking place in the mid-60s, a teen gang in rural Oklahoma, the Greasers are perpetually at odds with the Socials, a rival group. When Greasers Ponyboy, played by C. Thomas Howell, and Johnny, played by Ralph Macchio, get into a brawl that ends in the death of a social member, the boys are forced to go into hiding. Soon, Ponyboy and Johnny, along with the intense Dallas, played by Matt Dillon, and their other Greaser buddies, must contend with the consequences of their violent lives. While some Greasers try to achieve redemption, others meet tragic ends. So let me get this straight with everything that occurred in this masterpiece. Both the book and the movie focusing on gang violence, underage drinking and smoking, profanity or slang, family, and also family dysfunction. I enjoyed every single scene of this. From the Greasers hanging out with the girls at a drive-in, to Johnny killing Bob after he and the rest of the Sox were trying to kill Ponyboy. From Ponyboy and Johnny running away to the characters themselves looking tougher than ever. From a church fire that led Johnny to end up in a hospital to a rumble where the Greasers actually won. From Johnny's death to Dally getting shot to death by the police after robbing a convenience store. I don't like to ramble on, but let me tell you something. Now, regarding the plot of the film, chapter after chapter, it shows that the film has an actual story comparing to the novel that's basically the same thing. It makes a lot of sense because it follows the book very well. The crew exactly knew what they were doing, since you always have to read the book before you would make the film. Unfortunately, that's not too much of a case for some movies that don't follow the book that's based off of, but with this movie, they did what they could. I mean, sure, the movie has some deleted scenes, and it doesn't have like every single part from the book that was supposed to be part of this, but it's still worth a watch. It just tells you this dramatic story to understand what it's like living in a violent life and how much pessimism that you would have to deal with. Every character is not only unique, but also very likable because of their personalities. So like, Ponyboy Curtis is the main character who was actually writing the story regarding his life as a greaser, even in the book. Derry, played by Patrick Swayze, is the oldest brother of the Curtis family who is now in charge of every sibling after their parents died from a car crash. Soda Pop, played by Rob Lowe, who once owned a horse named Mickey Mouse and dropped out of high school to work at a gas station. Johnny Cade is Ponyboy's best friend who is painfully quiet. Dallas is the guy in the Greaser gang who is more of a troublemaker. Two-Bit, played by Emilio Estevez, who is a kleptomaniac. And Cherry Valance, played by Diane Lane, was once Bob's girlfriend but ends up becoming friends with Ponyboy for a while. And Steve Randall, played by Tom Cruise, who is Soda's best friend. And Tim Shepard, played by Gren Withrow, who is the leader of another Greaser gang, which is an organized downtown one. But what can I say? The cast members did an excellent job portraying the characters, especially by using their accent. Even the acting is perfectly amazing, I'm not gonna lie. Got nothing much to say about the fight scenes, but they are insane. On the other hand, there are also some other adaptations of The Outsiders, like a TV series that only ran in 1990, and a school play based on the novel. Those sound interesting, but I prefer the movie and the book the best. Before we close out the review, I need to tell you guys this true story. When I was in high school, we would read novels before watching a film adaptation. Although we did read typical novels in class, but there was one class where we would only read short passages as a special needs style, because I attended a school that was exclusive for people with not only autism, but also, of course, additional social and communication issues. Let me tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, it was something that I didn't really need since I grew out of that crap in grade school. And one time, when I was a junior in high school, we did the same thing with a couple of novels, including Holes, and what I'm reviewing now, even though I said earlier, which is The Outsiders. The sad part is, we only read the book and never watched the film in school because there was a policy in both middle school and high school where watching anything PG-13, R, or NC-17 rated with swearing, sex, violence, showing off weapons, or anything related to drugs was something that wasn't allowed because of how inappropriate they are, especially for school. And that seriously, that seriously disappointed me, all because of one scene with the knife being shown that people in my previous school wouldn't handle. Well, there were some exceptions for the policy that were necessarily allowed, but you don't know how disappointed I was when we didn't get to watch The Outsiders in school after reading it. Like, I'm talking about the novel. But luckily, I did read the actual novel that I bought from the book down in Columbus. It took me like 2 years for me to read because I went on a little hiatus due to the fact that I had to work and everything, you know. And as of this week, actually, as of this month, after reading the entire novel, I finally got to watch the film that I was expecting to watch, and I was so happy. In conclusion, I feel a lot better from the dead end that I wasn't expecting at all. The 80s classic, based on the book, was a little quick unless we watched the one with every deleted scene in it, but it was somehow interesting to begin with, despite the behavior from characters and all the drama, you know. And that's why I'm giving The Outsiders 4.5 out of 5 stars. This is something that both teenagers and adults can enjoy, especially for young adulthood. I mean, sure, it may be intense, but everything about it is interesting. Okay, so that is my review on The Outsiders. Thanks again for watching another episode of Byron's Bias. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you are willing to stay tuned. I hope everyone is staying safe during this time, and this is me, Byron, signing off. Peace.